Welcome to Trade Pro. This is the introduction and tutorial video for the second Trade Pro trading script. The Patreon members voted on which script they wanted to see next, and they chose the 76% win rate, highly profitable trading strategy, proven 100 trades, 3 EMA plus stochastic RSI plus ATR strategy. Here it is on the spreadsheet, so you can see for the test I did for the channel, it had a 40% gain on the account. It was tested on the 1 hour time frame with a 76% win rate. As you can see over here, I'm on the 3-minute chart of Bitcoin. And the reason for that is I had so many requests from people to show the script with some settings that work well for a more of a scalping style on a lower time frame. So I do what the people ask. And before I get into this video, I do want to mention that, this is just a luxury item. You don't need to pay for the scripts if you want to be profitable. There's plenty of information on my channel, and this is just a luxury item. So no need to purchase it. It's just for people who want to have a little bit of extra practice with sticking to a system and kind of the luxury of getting the alerts and trade entries. So absolutely no need to purchase or pay money to get access to the script. But if you are interested, check out the Patreon. It's the Chart God tier on Patreon. Okay, so let's get into all the different features and settings that this script has to offer. I'm also going to show a live trade example where I enter based on the alert from the script. So let's get into it. All right, let's go over all the different customizable parts of this trading script. We've added a bunch of different features so that you can really customize it for whatever time frame and market you want to be trading on. Let's go in and take a look. So the main thing up top here is the EMA settings. And here you can either decide if you want to change the EMA values. So if you don't want the defaults at 50 and 14 and 8, you can change it to have a 200 period EMA, a 100 period EMA, and a 50 period EMA, or whatever you want to change the EMA values to. You can also get rid of some of the EMAs. So let me show you what happens if we just get rid of 2 of the EMAs. And you'll see that now there are way more entries, and that's because there's less criteria that needs to be met for the strategy to enter a trade. So if we go back and add those on, the results will be better, but you're going to get a lot less trade entries. Personally, I would prefer to go for the better results, because the higher the profit factor you have, the higher the chances that your strategy is going to perform well in the long run. So let's just quickly try here now. What happens if we just change the 50 to a 200 period and we change the 14 period to a 50? Let's just see what happens to the results here. So we can see the percent profitable goes down, profit factor goes down, so we probably don't want to do that. See what happens if we go with a 200, a 14, and an 8. Yeah, still not as good as with the 50, the 14, and an 8. So we're going to stick with that. And of course, you can try out a bunch of different combinations of things to see what works best. The next thing we have is the stochastic RSI settings. So with this strategy, the entries are based on the stochastic RSI crosses. But you can go in and change the settings of the stochastic RSI if you want to fiddle around with that and see if you can improve results. Next, we have another thing with the stochastic RSI, and that is the ability to restrict your entries to either the overbought or oversold territory of the stochastic RSI. And you can also choose where you want the stochastic RSI upper band and lower band to be located. So for example, if I have this checked on, this upper band is set to 50 and the lower band is also set to 50. What that means is the strategy is only going to let you enter a long position if the stochastic RSI crosses up from below the 50 line of the stochastic RSI, and it's only going to enter a short position if the stochastic RSI crosses down from above the 50 line. So let's see what happens if we change it to the more traditional values of overbought and oversold. So I'm going to change the lower band to 20, and I'm going to change the upper band to 80, like a more traditional stochastic RSI. And as we can see, there are far less entries, but the results do get significantly better. Profit factors up to 2.2%, profitable 77.65%. So we get a really high win rate and a very high profit factor, but we barely get any entries. I wouldn't say that's necessarily a bad thing, especially on the 3-minute time frame, because trading on the 3-minute chart, you're going to get all 85 of those trades in a very short period of time. So a 63% net profit over the course of those 85. It's going to happen in quite a short period of time if you're on the 3-minute chart. So I wouldn't be complaining about that. I'm just going to change it back to the 50 here, and we'll go on to the next thing. Or I'll quickly see what happens if we don't restrict it. So it's just going to take all crosses of the stochastic RSI. So this is taking every single cross. You can see there are a ton of entries coming down here. Ton of entries. So now we have 384 trades with a 69% win rate, profit factor of 1.5, 221% profit. So you can customize it to do whatever you would like. And it seems that all of these performed pretty well, and it's going to depend on what you want to do. So another thing is you can change the ATR length, and this actually has to do with where the stop loss and the take profit are going to be placed. So let's go down here. You can choose to enable long entries or enable short entries as well. If you're using Binance US, you can only take longs. Then of course, you can go ahead and change that. You can also restrict entries to a certain date range and restrict entries to certain times of the day. So if you only trade during certain times of day, you probably want to restrict it to those times of day that you're actually going to be trading, to get a more realistic picture of what your results are going to look like in real time. You can also choose to skip an entry if the estimated commission is greater than the estimated profit. But on the 3-minute chart, as you'll see in the live trade example I show, I only do limit order fills. So on Bybit, you actually get paid to take limit orders. So you'll see that there is no commission taken if you're trading on Bybit using limit orders. And that's what I do if I'm trading on a 3-minute time frame. So you'll see that in the live trade that I show. And here we have the stop loss and take profit targets. So this is based on the ATR value. And in this specific example, I am using a 3 ATR value stop loss and then a 2 ATR take profit. So yes, the stop loss is farther away than the take profit, but guys, it doesn't matter what you're doing with your trading as long as you're consistent and what you're doing is proven profitable. So I would probably get people hating on me for saying that almost anything can be profitable, even if your stop loss is farther away than your take profit target. But I've never heard a logical explanation for anyone arguing that it's impossible to be profitable if your stop loss is farther away than your take profit target. Clearly, based on hundreds of trade examples, you can in fact be profitable even using a stop loss that's farther away than your take profit. So of course you can go in here and change it to whatever you want though. So if you want to have only a 2 ATR for your stop loss and you want to have a 4 ATR for your profit target, then you can do that. So we'll see how those results turn out. And of course, the percent profitable is going to go down. So 43% profitable, 1.498 profit factor, and 195 for that net profit. And of course, you can play around with this however you would like. So let's see what happens if we go to 3 there. Profit factor goes up. Percent profitable, of course, goes up as well. So you can do whatever you would like here, but we have it at 3 ATR for the stop loss and 2 ATR for the take profit, and that seems to give a nice profit factor, very high win rate, and does a pretty good job. So, I'm not going to hate on someone just because they have a stop loss that is farther than the take profit, as long as what they're doing has been proven to work and they are staying consistent with a strategy and trading without emotion, then why should I be one to judge? Even if I use a 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 or something like that, I don't need to be married to the way that I do it. As long as what someone's doing is working, then it doesn't matter. Mind your own business. I already know that someone would mention something about the risk-reward ratio, because I always have someone in the comments who gets mad about something in the videos, and they always have something to criticize, but who cares if it's actually working? Anyway, let's get on to the order size settings. So this is going to be where you determine if you want to risk a certain percentage of your equity. So you can activate custom order size settings, and what that means here, or what you're seeing here, is this is risking 2% per trade. So you can decide what you want to do here: contracts, cash, percent of equity, percent risk of equity. So 2% of your account per trade, and that's typically what I would go with on my account. So that's why I have it set to 2% per trade. But obviously, if we change it to 4% risk per trade, then we're going to see that net profit figure jump hugely up to 684%. But as I always preach, you should stick with that 2% or less per trade. And then we can go down here and take a look at all the alerts. So you can set up alerts, so it will give you alerts each time you should be taking an entry, each time that you have a take profit hit or a stop loss hit, and you'll get an alert for that. You can also have it show the alert labels on your chart. Not really a big deal. It just puts a little alarm clock up there. Kind of makes it a little clunky, so I actually prefer to not have that. So last thing down here is the trading widget, and that is this right here. So you can see that it's going to display different colors based on what criteria are being met. So if the fast EMA is below medium, below the slow, then we have valid for a short entry, as you can see is happening right now. If we zoom in here, see the EMAs are pointing all down, they're spread out. So we have the fast EMA below the medium, which is below the slow, so it's valid for a short entry. That criteria is being met. We have a candle closed under the EMAs, which is another criteria being met for a short position, but we don't have the stochastic RSI crossing down from above the 50 line. So we can't actually take a short position until that criteria is met. And clearly none of the long position criteria is being met, so all the red dots are shown here. If we go down to the bottom here, you can display a few other different things. So if we go display backtest statistics section, you can see it adds this to your little widget here. And so it's going to tell you the different stats, kind of like how it's showing you down here. But a few of the good things it's going to show you is the max wins in a row, which was 12, and the max losses in a row, which was 4 here. It's going to tell you how many shorts were open, how many longs were open, first entry date, last entry date. So you can see how long did it take to get these 215 trades. It's going to tell you your max drawdown, everything that you need to know about your backtesting stats. And then let's go back in here and we can add a couple more things. There's configuration, active position section, and you can see now above we have a bunch more stuff. So it's going to tell us if there's an active trade in progress, which it will also tell you right here with a green dot. Then we can see up above strategy configuration. So all the different settings that you have set for this script. So it'll say your time frame for the chart, the risk to reward ratio, it's 3:2, and then your EMAs that you have chosen, your stochastic RSI settings, ATR value, the capital that you're using on this backtesting data. So it's going to tell you a bunch of different things on there, and it's pretty useful. So I think this type of script is, it's really helpful for people who are still working on sticking to a strategy, getting the idea of back testing and trying different things out. It makes it really easy because you can just instantly back test the data across different pairs and timeframes. And it just makes life a bit easier. So as I said earlier, it's a luxury item. You can trade the strategies without having the script, but it's nice to have the alerts for your entries and just the easy ability to go through and try out all the different settings and see what works instantly with back testing. So I think it is a valuable tool to have. Otherwise, I wouldn't be releasing it on the Patreon. So that is it for the different settings on this particular script. Of course, the last script was the Ichimoku script, and that one was cool as well with all the different settings. This one is great as well. So I'm going to go ahead and play the live trade that I took with the alert based on this script. As you can see, I'm about to place a limit order here as the script gave an entry signal for a short. And I'm just going to wait for my limit order to get filled because I want to get the rebate from Bybit because they do pay you to take limit orders. And if I'm trading on a 3-minute time frame, I definitely want to worry about fees and spreads. So whatever you can do to eliminate fees and spreads, do it if you're trading on the 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, even 10, 15 minute. You want to try and really minimize those fees and spreads at all cost. So of course you might miss the occasional entry if you do only use limit orders, but it's completely worth it because adding in fees and spreads to a very low time frame strategy, such as the one I'm doing in this little example here, you're going to actually cause the strategy to potentially not be profitable anymore. So when you're only trying to capture really small moves, just the fees and the spreads alone can really just eat up your profit. So definitely worthwhile. Use Bybit if you want to get that zero fee / rebate where they actually pay you to take limit orders. So as you can see, the limit got filled, and so I'm in the position for a short of $10,000 on Bitcoin here. And I'm just going to fast forward through it now. I'm just placing a take profit target, and then we shall see how it plays out. So there it is. All right, so that concludes that trade and pretty much this video. Hopefully you guys found this helpful for anyone who is playing around with the script and wants a video tutorial about it. And hopefully you guys enjoy the script. We will have many more coming out in the future. So stay tuned and good luck trading out there.